All right, guys, finally got all the parts in for this four-wheeler. It's been a minute, but it's coming together. In the meantime, I had a company reach out to me, OPENROAD, and they are a winch and lights and kind of like your general off-road accessory company. And I looked at their website. I said, you know what, this actually looks like good stuff. Let's do something here. So I got a set of lights. I mean, I can tell you, they're good quality right off the bat. The finish, very nice. But we're gonna do a separate video on this. Today, we're gonna talk about this winch right here. Synthetic cable, really nice. Let's unbox it and see what we got in here. So we have instructions. We have a wireless remote. It's pretty nice. Our wiring. I guess it's the wire receiver box. Wireless, excuse me. We have a switch for our handlebars. That's very nice. Definitely need that. And with our synthetic rope comes the correct fair lead for it. We have some mounting brackets here and a winch plate. Overall, very nice. No complaints at all. Good finish. Synthetic rope. Nice fair lead, nice hook. And the engagement is very good. We're going to take this winch plate and make it fit on that foreman right there. Simple and easy winch mount. Piece of 1-inch angle iron. When it fits nice, it's almost similar size of the tubing. And then the winch plate in the rear is going to sit right on top. Pull the winch out so you can fully see how it's going to be mounted. And really, that is a nice, clean, OEM looking winch mount. Underneath, you can see our tab that we made. I'm going to weld that in as well. And before I weld it in, that is your measurements. It's 1.5 by 1.25 inches for your piece of flat bar, and then the angle iron is 8.5 by 1 inch angle, both 3/16 thick. There's your mount fully welded in. Not bad at all. Now this plate can just literally drop right in. Just like that. You have a really good winch mount. So now that all of our hardware is finished, we're going to move on to the wiring. Now this relay box is a little different than a traditional winch relay box or relay. This is a wireless controller built in. Now it's pre-wired. This goes to your winch. This goes to your battery, and because obviously your terminals are short right here, this is going to go into the hood of the four-wheeler. I believe that this area right here, top of the rail, is a nice high and dry area. I wouldn't want to submerge that box. They do have some clamps to pinch it onto top of the motor itself, which are right here. But I'm just going to use 2 heavy-duty zip ties. And zip ties are just easier to get on and off. You have to move anything. So that's just a quick rundown on that. Plug and play for your leads for in and out. Switched ignition power, constant power, and winch. Now we are going to mount our toggle switch. And I'm thinking to get rid of the bracket completely, because on these older Foremans you have a plastic cover. Really, I could just get rid of this bracket, use these 2 screws, and mount it straight on top right here, right? Put some washers, boom, easy. Look at that. Absolutely perfect. Nice flush mount. Even took advantage of this little sight glass area to run the wire down. I am going to run my 12-volt wire for the relay. I am going to do to the ignition. It's just too easy, and it's the right way to do it. So right here, you want to get your test light. Okay, we have power here, and an obvious ground. Turn the key on, and boom. Pink wire on this Honda Foreman is going to be your ignition power. So now I'm going to actually pull back some wire right here and solder this wire in, okay? Moving on down the handlebars, we ran our wire that goes to a relay, and it's obviously extremely long. Well, they do that for a good reason, because maybe you have a side-by-side or something else you're mounting this to. It's good to have more than not enough. For me personally, I am going to cut this wire way back here, okay? And then I'm going to cut off these bullet connectors right here. Can't go wrong with that. So that's our last thing to do to really button this up, and we'll be hearing this thing move here pretty shortly. And there is your wire soldered. Perfect. So let's see what we got. Let's turn the key on. Why not just do it now? Key on. And we're gonna press out. Perfect. Now this winch does have the free spool knob right here on the side. It has a very good engaging clunk to it. Let's do it again. You can feel it engage and hear it. So now we'll just freewheel, pull it out, and let it lock in. Very important to let it lock in. If you ever have a winch and you don't let it do that engagement, you might be rushing, you're stuck, you're angry. You hit that switch and it's halfway engaged, boom, it slams, strips the gears every time. So that's mostly why winches break, is from user error, in my opinion. But if you know how this works, you have a better chance of actually keeping this alive for a long time. But yeah, the synthetic cable, very nice, has this sheath on it. It does not have anything here to protect this from chewing up the front of the aluminum fair lead, but they are typically pretty inexpensive. Be nice to add that to this kit. And the other thing that I'd probably add is just your little rubber covers right here, because technically when these go power, these turn into positive leads and they're just kind of open in the air. Now, I have plenty of room right there, but it surely wouldn't hurt to have these covered. So might end up getting some covers for that. No big deal. Wiring was straightforward. The switch is very nice, it looks OEM. Easy to wire in to our key switch, like most four-wheelers have this style. And then wiring it back to the battery, everything was great. The length of everything was great. I will say, the heavier gauge wires were the perfect length to reach the battery. I really like that. And then modifying these wires right here was really no issue at all. And in my opinion, this is the correct way to install a winch. Least amount of wiring as possible is how you want to do it. Almost forgot. The wireless remotes. What am I thinking? It's the coolest part of the winch kit. Turn it on. Let's go out. Perfect. In. Perfect. So there you have it. There is my best install video I can give you on how to mount this OPENROAD 3,500 pound winch with just the plate they give you on a Foreman 400. Overall, the winch construction is very good. Time will tell, but I'm happy with it. The wireless remote worked great, syncs automatically. Switch is great. The wiring was great. I really have no complaints. So you can check them out at OPENROAD 4wheeldrive.com.